So Smooth Love Potion is off to the races. Let's check out SLP. I did a video on this like a couple of days ago, and we basically said as long as we stay above this 618, then we're in line for bullish continuation to the upside. And you can see that obviously we didn't even retest the 618 of that move. We've got a new 618 sheriff in town, so let's move this up. The new 618 to look for is at the 154. As long as we stay above the 154, then we're going to be bullish for more continuation. Now, we had two resistances in mind the last time we made our video, and that was this level here and this level here. You can see if we zoom out, ignoring all of these highs on the micro time frame, these two micro highs are the most recent micro highs that we've had, and you can see that we've blasted above this one, which was at 216, and the next level is the 291, which is, let's see how far away that is from us now, about another 15% move. So just a word of caution, the RSI has really exploded on the daily. We basically went from 18 to 74 in a very short period of time. So personally, I really don't think anyone should be FOMOing into this right now. On the flip side though, if we do just collapse this price a little bit, look at this buying volume. This buying volume is really steep. Another word of caution as well is you can see that we have had buying volumes very similar to this in the past. This is a little bit higher, which is very good, but also do bear in mind that we had this huge volume spike before where the RSI basically turned up from 37 to 63 in a matter of a couple of days, and that was the top after this huge volume spike. So what I'd want to see now is, like I said, potentially a retest of the 618 down here, or a retest of this previous zone here on the micro high, resistance flip support, and then to blast off again. I do think the RSI needs to cool off maybe a tiny bit, but once again, on the flip side, if you do zoom out, I mean, we have come all the way up to 85 before. This is a very FOMO-y kind of coin. I mean, when it does, when the market is going down, this coin just eats the dirt, and when the market is bullish, it seems to be very bullish. So if we just take a quick price chart from the top of our all-time high to the bottom, you can see we basically dipped like almost 98%, and bear in mind we are still 94% down. So obviously if you bought up here and you're celebrating about this move, fair enough, if that's what you want to do, but you know, bear in mind that this coin is still making very macro lower highs. Let's see if there's a trend line that I could kind of characterize it with. Something like this is very, yeah, I mean, we've got multiple touch points on this. If you zoom in, you can kind of see that this is pretty much what we're running into now, so don't be surprised if we do run into resistance. I kind of expect this to be the micro top in the short term, or potentially we might even come up a little bit further to 279, 280 before having a retest. Now, what to look for if you did want to enter this coin on a long, or if you did just want to pick some up, I would say if we bounce off this level here, which was our previous rejection point, if we do bounce off this and flip it as support, you know, maybe picking up some SLP at this price would be an alright thing to do, because obviously bear in mind, if you are buying down here, you are buying at a 95% discount. I personally don't really like this coin. I'm not a fan of the Axie coin or the SLP coin, but I know a lot of you like it, so I will continue to cover it. I don't have doubts that this coin will pump hard at some point, but obviously we are still in this steep downtrend. Once we do get above this trend line, we can, you know, well, you can talk about potentially buying some. I'm personally not a fan of this coin, so I personally won't be buying it. There's other coins that I would prefer, other altcoins that I would prefer to pick up at, you know, similar prices. But yeah, if we zoom out to the weekly as well, we can see what the RSI is saying. So the weekly chart is really your hopium chart, because if you look at the RSI is still completely flattened. I mean, it's only just kind of hit to 30, and this is the most buying volume we've ever seen step in on a week. So obviously on the daily time frame, it does look like what I said. This could potentially be the top for the next few days. Roll over to either 215 or 156. As long as we hold 156 worst case scenario, then we are still putting in higher highs on the micro time frame, and then obviously as soon as we break above this red trend line here, then we could start talking about being bullish on a higher time frame. Coming into the monthly as well, you can similarly see that this is the most monthly buying volume that we've had. Obviously, the higher the time frame, the better the trade. So it does seem like the weekly and the monthly do look very bullish for this coin. So while I'm not a fan, I can't really ignore that, you know, this coin is completely popping off right now. So if you, like I said, if you were looking to buy some, you kind of would want to hop over this trend line, in my opinion. But you know, if you're already going to buy this coin, if you're already picking up and dollar cost averaging on this, I'd potentially just wait until we come back to 215 or retest the 618. I'm not convinced that we would come back to the 618. Obviously this is technically correct, but not all coins like to follow technicals now. I don't have too much data of this on the past, but this coin is really a rip and dip coin. When it dumps, it kind of just rugs for a very long time, and when it pumps, it just extremely just bursts up. So yeah, I mean, on the daily, look for a slight correction potentially. If we don't have that correction, I'm not saying that we do have to have a correction at all, but if we don't have a correction and we get above this red line and touch this red line and use it as support, then in my opinion that would not be a bad time to start buying. But until we do get above that trend line, then bear in mind that this is still technically a lower high on the macro time frame. If we zoom out, we've got the all-time high around here, lower high, and then these are obviously the tiny little micro highs that we've had. If you ignore these two micro highs and just focus on this, then you can still see that we have a steep macro downtrend for this. But obviously coming into the daily, 4 hourly, and looking at these micro highs, you can see that we've blasted past one and we're coming up to the second one. So, you know, if we do get above 291, if we do flip this trend line round about 265, then this coin is probably going to rip, and God knows how far this coin will rip up. The next price target that I see on here, if I zoom out, let's see, let me clear this up a little bit because I've got so many fibs all over the place right now. So I'd take it from here to here. I'd say the next level that I see would be 395, which is probably a huge pump from where this trend line would be. So if we did break above this trend line, you could see we'd almost be in for a 50% pump once we got over this trend line. So, you know, there's definitely no reason to FOMO in now. If you can confirm that we're going to be breaking out and get a 50% trade, then obviously that's going to be absolutely jokes for you. So and obviously if you wanted to buy now, that would be a 56% move from where we are now. So yeah, that's really all I see for Smooth Love Potion. In my opinion, I think we're either going to hop over this red trend line or expect a slight correction before going higher. And obviously if we come back to the weekly and the monthly, you can see that the RSI has been decimated. It is very low and we've got a lot of buying volume coming in. So the weekly and the monthly look very, very bullish, especially the weekly in my opinion. But obviously, I mean, both the monthly and the weekly are very similar, but we haven't really had any candle on volume that's rivaled this before. So in my opinion, SLP does look bullish for more continuation, but you know, kind of just wait, see if we can get above this trend line. So thanks for coming and watching my content. Once again, none of this is financial advice, it's all just my opinion on the market, and you should always do what's best for you. Peace.